to the Shelf Sisters. Happy April. It's our book club episode. We're discussing This Book Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead. Sarish, are you scared yet? How are you?
I've literally been scared for the last 2 weeks because I started this book 2 weeks ago because I was so nervous that it would take me a while because it was a longer book. And I just got back from Miami, and guess what book I read on the beach? This Book Will Bury Me.
Honestly, I feel so bad for you. This is the worst book
this
to
is,
read on the beach.
Yeah, disclaimer. This is not a beach read. It is most definitely the thrilliest of thrillers that I could have picked.
Yeah.
But you know what? I finished it. I'm back from the beach. I do have a sunburn to remind me of where I was this weekend. But you know what? We're ready to get into it.
Yeah, I've been scared for the past few days. I didn't start 2 weeks ago. Like always, I started way too late. And oh my God, honestly, yesterday I was alone by myself on the couch. And I was like, I have to get into bed now because like, I'm scared in the living room by myself. It was freaking me out.
It was freaking, okay, so do you remember? I sent Sonia a photo because I was rushing to finish the book. And I wanted to get a workout in. So what did I do? I got on my treadmill, my home treadmill, and I was reading the Kindle at the same time. But my back faces the door of this room. Every 5 minutes, I was turning around, making sure like no one was behind me. Like that's how chilling it was, and everything was locked. All the alarms were on. I just kept turning back to be like making sure no one was there.
Yeah.
Chill down your spine.
Yes. So I really want to know, like, did other people get as scared as we
I'm
did?
Sure.
Because there were a lot of real elements in the book. That's the problem. With every other thriller,
it was like too close for comfort.
Fiction. But this one, everything that she was bringing up, I knew. And I don't even think you know that because we haven't discussed the book. But as we go through it, I feel like you're going to be like, how do you, like, know all of this?
Okay, I'm getting nervous. But yes, we are discussing our April book club pick was This Book Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead. We gave you a little bit of a summary last time, but we'll give you the longer summary today. And just know that there will be spoilers to the book. And even if you didn't read it, so to all of our male followers that tell us, please pick a book that's gender neutral, this is your book. Like, it was...
Yeah, if there's any book that
we're ever going to choose,
read
this is it.
Actually, I shouldn't say how I felt about it because that's like one of the things that we do. So I'll keep it in. But yeah, this is gender neutral. Anyone can read it. And any true crime fanatics, and there's so many people, like those podcasts are at the top of the charts.
Always.
And so I feel like there's so many people out there
Should
that
we label our podcast as true crime this time?
Honestly, let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, perfect.
Okay. Do you want to read the
summary? Yeah, so, I will.
Like always, every single time we have a thriller book to discuss, we have like two parts. We read the good read summary, and then the second part is like revealing all the plot twists, which is what we'll do after you finish the good read summary.
For sure. So This Book Will Bury Me by Ashley Winstead is a chilling, compulsive story of 5 amateur sleuths whose hunt for an elusive killer captivates them into a danger world that watches. It's the most famous crime in modern history, but only she knows the true story. After the unexpected death of her father, college student Jane Sharp longs for a distraction from her grief. She becomes obsessed with true crime, befriending armchair detectives who teach her how to hunt killers from afar. In this morbid internet underground, Jane finds friendship, purpose, and even glory. So when news of shocking deaths of 3 college girls in Delphine, Idaho, take the world by storm and sleuths everywhere race to solve the crimes, Jane and her friends are determined to beat them. But the case turns out to be stranger than anyone expected. Details don't add up, and police are cagey, and there seems to be more media hype and internet theorizing than actual evidence. When Jane and her sleuths take a step closer, they find that every answer only begs more questions. Something's not adding up, and they begin to suspect their killer may be smarter and more prolific than anyone they've ever faced before. Placing themselves in the center of the story starts to feel more and more like walking into a trap. Told 1 year after the astounding events that concluded the case and left the world reeling. When Jane has finally decided to break her silence about what really happened, she tells the true story of the Delphine massacres. And what she has to confess will shock even the most seasoned true crime fans.
I got goosebumps as you were reading that.
Chills,
everywhere.
Chills.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was the Goodreads summary, and then I feel like we should go through the characters that you need to know within the books, and there were 5. So one is Searcher, and we're going based off of their like network
Sleuth names. Yes.
Yeah. So first, our narrator is Searcher. She's like a young,
she's like
20-year-old.
Yeah. Her dad just passed away, and she's a college dropout, so she was grieving and like looking for a distraction. This is kind of where she came to, and then became a part of this network, this family of sleuths, and that was the narrator throughout the entire book.
And then next is Citizen, and he is a young, handsome male in the Navy, like well built. That's how they described him, with a buzz cut.
Yeah.
And he just like, he wants to be the one to figure out the crimes the fastest. And that's
everyone said that he had an ego too. So like anytime he solved something, he had to like get the credit for it.
Yeah. Next is Goku, and he was the typical like tech nerdy that lives in his basement.
Yeah.
And like makes a lot of money, but like doesn't leave his house and can hack anything. That was like the typical like tech.
Yeah. You always see one
guru
of those, you know?
In these stories, like to solve a case, you need that tech hacker.
Think of in Ocean's 11, the remake with Mindy Kaling and everyone. Think of Rihanna. He is the Rihanna of this book.
Yeah. And then next is Mistress. Ironically, she's like a 60, 70-year-old frail woman that likes to solve cases in her spare time. She's like retired. She has like a grandkid and like not much to do, and she just wants to. She had like something that happened when she was a younger woman, and
that's what brought her to true crime and like solving these cases, and we'll kind of talk about that more.
Yeah. And then next is Lightly, the father figure of the group. He's an older gentleman, a previous
But he
cop.
wasn't as old as Mistress, is what I gathered.
Yeah, I think he was maybe in his like 50s or 60s, and he was a previous cop, and so he obviously has a lot of experience with detective work and figuring out these cases, a lot of connections to like cops, FBI agents, detectives currently. So that was really his role, and he was like the most like logical one in the group, and
he took his time to like think through every scenario and then like come to conclusions.
The calmest one,
yes, the calmest one for sure. But that was like the Fab Five of like the sleuth network. They were in like a larger network and then came together because they truly were the 5 that were either the most seasoned, or just the brightest. So that's how they kind of created their small group of sleuthers, and this case kind of brought them together.
Yeah, it was like a found family. Like all of them had reasons to be doing this, to like be together, and it was really cute. Like whenever they would have their like
a Zoom call,
Zoom calls, it was just like so nice, and they would be like working and the other people would just be in the background. It was really cute. So I love books that have like a found family. So those are the characters, and then we should get into the plot twist of the book, what actually went down with the 3 crimes. So the 3 interconnected crimes in this book. The first one was a murder, a strangulation of a 17-year-old suburban girl in her family home. She went to this high school that was right across the street, and her last name was Howell. Sorry, we totally forgot her first name, but there was basically no evidence besides like the blood underneath her fingernails, which is a lot of people like how they get the DNA in these cases. But they didn't have DNA at the time this murder took place. I want to say like 11
They said
years
11
before
or 15,
the other 2 try. Oh my god,
Crimes. Words are hard, okay?
They're really not, but anyway.
Especially if you're a podcaster.
The second one is the fictional case in this book that relates to the real life Idaho crimes of the sorority girls. So in the book, it's the stabbing of 3 Delphine, Idaho sorority girls. And like in real life, there was a girl in the home that wasn't harmed. She saw the killer, the mass killer, but she was not attacked and survived the event. And then the third one was another stabbing of 3 Delphine track girls. They went to the same college. They were also in an off-campus house. But this time, like, there were no survivors. All of them were killed.
Yeah. And the 2 murders, the Delphine murders, happened about a few weeks apart from each other, so there wasn't much time. But the first murder that we talked about happened 11 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the conclusion in the book. So as the book
Spoiler alert.
Yes.
Drum roll.
As the book went on, at first they thought that all 3 crimes were related. They found an eyelash in the track girl's murder, and then the blood underneath the fingernails, that DNA of the first 17-year-old strangulation, those DNAs ended up matching up, and so they assumed that all 3 crimes were done by the same person. But then
the more they tried to like look into it, the way that the second and third murders, the stabbing happened, they were done just slightly different. So they concluded and also had other clues about why the 2 killers are possibly separate. And the sleuthers actually came to the conclusion that they were done by separate people. Cops didn't catch on to that till much later, if at all. But they made the tie that the second and third murders were not done by the same person. But while they were researching all of this, the group of 5, they were kind of split because a few of them kind of figured out one amongst them actually had some part in this. And the others were the other people that were actually a part of this murder, were trying to frame other people for this. So
because they obviously didn't want to be caught. And drum roll, that person, the murderer within their group, amongst their ranks, was none other than Citizen, the young, handsome,
egotistical,
yes. And so he did the 17-year-old girl strangulation, that case, and then
he went to high school with her, and they kind of knew each other, and there was a tie because she had a dog and he was just like a lonely kid, so he took the dog, and she found out that he was the one who stole her dog, and then there was connection, and he ended up coming into her home while her parents were away and strangled her.
And then the third crime of the track girls, turns out he committed that too. And in real life, they say this, like, people who are evil like this and have this tendency, they tend to do it when something is going awry in their own life. And this found family was breaking up. They were like the only people he had. And that's when he went out and did those murders. And he knew that would bring them together because it's, something even crazier happened in the case. And they knew that they would pick up the phone, talk to each other, and that's why he committed those murders. And then our narrator, Searcher, was the one that found that the sorority girl murder was actually done by their house manager of the sorority group. And the girl that she let live, she was obsessed with her. She was in love with her, and the other roommates of hers were ruining her life. She would have to drop out because of them. She was there on a scholarship, and the house manager knew that, and she killed those girls for the girl that she let live. Harlow was her name. And so and the reason Searcher realized that it was done by 2 people, it was Searcher and Lightly, because Lightly was able to go walk the crime scenes. And by the way, in the book, as it went along, because they were like so good at what they do, the FBI actually commissioned them to be part of the investigation.
Yeah, they were like official like FBI consultants and working with the FBI.
That's how he was able to walk the crime scene. And the way that the blood was on the walls, it was like at a different height than the track girls. And so they assumed it's a different person because just like of the way you would have to do it, like the height you would have to be and like different things like that. They were like, this is a different person. And
the FBI really didn't and couldn't believe that the second murder, the first Idaho girls that were murdered, it could be a woman, is because about less than 10% of serial killers are women. I feel like it should be less, but I don't know. But she was a taller girl. So she was, I think they said 6 foot.
Yeah.
So based on that, there was a footprint that they found in the back area where she came in through the sliding doors, is what they said. Her footprint was a size 11 foot. So you would have to be a very tall woman to have that size foot. But since she was, and Searcher had done a lot of sleuthing online on social media, she found out that she was obsessed with the girl Harlow that she let live. She really killed her roommates to make Harlow's life a little bit more peaceful and easy.
Yeah, so that was one of the big plot twists, that it was a woman that had done one of the crimes, and then the other one being that citizen, like one of their camaraderies had done these 2 crazy murders. And even in real life, like what they say is, you know, when someone like commits a crime, like they're seriously so insane that they will show back up to the crime scene to like relive it. Or, you know, if there's a search party for the person, they show up to the search party because they want to be a part of the investigation of the crime scene, of like the whole chaos surrounding it. And that's what he did in the book, but he just went like an extra step, and not even to just like kind of help. He was officially part of the FBI investigation and like dedicated his entire time to like finding the killer you know, of these girls. So it was just so crazy. And let's get into
the questions, because
if we liked the book
it
overall, yes or no.
So I'll rate it.
You go first.
I really liked the book.
Don't say your rating.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm saying I really liked the book. I will say this is exactly what I was expecting when we read the initial summary, and I freaked out. I was just as freaked out reading this book. It wasn't
any better.
No, it was not any better. Like, the summary really didn't give it away. I think it was well paced. The way that the writing was, the way it was narrated, you could see the clues. Like, you were connecting the dots a little bit more, but it still wasn't like an expected, like, oh, this is who done it, you know? But I really liked it.
Yeah. I loved this book, and honestly, I actually think this is my top thriller that I have ever read. And let me tell you why. Well, all of the things you said, like well-paced,
yes,
story was like really enticing, and like you didn't know what to expect.
What to come next, yeah.
But also, I felt like this was such a world that I was in on. Like, the author, she had written in her author's note, she did so much research like for the book, and she brought up a lot of actual real life, like true crime cases, like the Golden State Killer, and then like BTK, like all these people. And even reporters like Nina Grace, like I know Nina Grace, my favorite murder podcast. I used to listen to that. And so everything she was saying, I was like, oh my God, I know that. Oh my God. Like, I know all of these things. And it was like, I was just part of the group that like knew everything in that world. And granted, like I don't listen anymore, but the big cases, like everyone had talked about. And so,
I mean, Sonia had heard of the Idaho murders. I had not, but I really do stay away from anything true crime. So I think a lot of people know about these murders, but even if you didn't, this book was really well written, and I agree with you, like so good. Yeah,
I just like loved that I knew all of the different people that she was bringing in, and even like in the book, the podcast, they called it Murder Junkies. But I know in real life, there's a massive podcast called Crime Junkies.
Yes.
So I knew the things that were like actually in real life, but I also knew the things that she was playing off of. And I just felt so in the know that I loved it.
No, but okay, our first few questions give a little bit more insight into the characters, the book, the storyline. So we'll get into that. Like Sonia said at the beginning of the episode, there were discussion questions after you finished the book, but I think we had our own little discussion. We created them on our own just because this is what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, the author had discussion questions, but it was honestly about like the relationship between Searcher and her dad and like grieving and stuff, and that's just like not really like what we wanted to focus on. So Sarah came up with these.
Yeah.
Number 1, do you agree with the controversy surrounding the book and how closely it relates to the Idaho murders? And if you didn't listen to our past episode, and I did more research this time, people are really not happy about this. And they're just, even in all of the reviews that I was looking up on Instagram, on like Bookstagrams to see, did people like it? Did people not?
I like TikToked it just to see, and it was not good. And I feel bad because like I understand the connection and how the trials are going to happen this summer, so it is like bad timing. But I will say, I like the way that she, the way the ending happened. The storyline, that is not what's going to happen in real life.
That's true.
So it was the reality is so far from what was the ending in this book that I think it's okay.
But
had it been...
But the thing is, you don't know the details because like you don't look into it, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you see something, you like exit out of the TikTok.
Yeah.
Because I knew all of the details when I was reading it, I did have that little bit of a feeling like, ooh, this is too close. Like, God forbid I was like, you know, in that orbit, like, of people
who were affected,
would be livid. I would be livid. So that is my thing. Like, I do not agree with the author for putting this out right now, or like maybe at all, like, because honestly, all the details that she said were what happened in real life. And so that is kind of like the icky feeling, but I am going to, like, there's two truths. Like, it's not the best thing to do, but her book was amazing.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if it was a poorly written book, I would not be sitting here justifying the writing of this so soon after the murders and while the trial is about to start. But since it was stellar, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
You know what? That's me being biased, but that's okay.
Yeah. I, like, when she was talking about, like, the sorority Idaho case, I was like, oh, God. Like, I understand what everyone's saying. And then, thankfully, she, like, created something else and like tied it to something else, and the ending of like the person who did the Idaho murders, like in the book, like it's not who was arrested, but it was so crazy. I don't even think you know this, but in the book, like when Odell was arrested and like falsely confessed to the crime, and he's a criminology major who had like girls come out and say he was creepy and stuff. That is the person who actually got arrested for.
He's gonna be on trial.
Yes, so he's the one that has been alleged to do like the real crimes, and that was the crazy part in real life. Like, he's a criminology major. And so when that was happening, that's when I was like,
oh no,
like, this is the same person in the book too. It was like every detail that was taken, like from real life, was just like pasted
so
onto
closely
the book.
aligned.
But then she switched it up. It was like a false confession. It was like the house manager, so that made it better.
Okay,
but for a while I was like, ooh. girl.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't look into it more, but I
Yeah.
could see how that would be so problematic if you were anyway attached to this case.
Yeah. Okay, number 2. What surprised you about the online amateur sleuth community? Are they justified in doing what they do, or should they leave it to the professionals? Sarish, take it away.
Okay. Maybe it's my I'm just not aware that these communities existed.
Yeah.
Or to this extent. I think I knew that people were so interested in true crime and everything that has happened pretty recently, and there's people actually researching and like helping solve the case. I thought they were literally just doing it in their minds. On the back end, they were just trying to do it on their own, like do some research in their spare time. Not once did I think that there were sleuths like this that were creating this media craze and either accusing the wrong person, like completely ruining their lives. Because at first, like, they did talk about the boyfriends of some of the girls.
By the way,
and
that's a real life detail
that's what happened.
too.
Okay, so that took it a little too far because they falsely accused him of possibly having some part in this, and there was death threats, there was
he got physically hurt.
Yeah, exactly. And so he withdrew from school. He had a completely normal life, and because of this, he withdrew from school. There's so much like social anxiety now, I'm sure that he has. And so kind of disturbing someone's life based on claims that are actually false, and you're just like going about it because you're not a professional and you're not taking into account like other details of previous cases. It just was too much. It was too much. And I think I was just blind to this society.
Yeah. I obviously, like, because I used to listen to true crime, I knew that this was happening.
Existed, yeah.
And I knew that sometimes they went over the line of being helpful into like deterring the cops from like getting to the truth, because they have to now deal with these crazies who are trying to intervene, and they're using their resources and
to
effort
respond,
to that versus the actual crime taking place. So I knew that happened sometimes, but in real life, like at points, amateur sleuths have helped solve cases.
Really?
Yes. And so there was one, it was like a cat. There's like a documentary. It was like, don't F with my cats or something like that.
Okay.
And amateur sleuths in that like helped solve the case. And so it was kind of the same in the book, where it's like helpful, but then they cross the line of doing too much and hindering the case. And so I thought that was a great parallel that she did, like Citizen, like obviously being psycho, like while pretending to, you know, actually solve the crime, and making someone like falsely confess to a murder.
Yeah.
And him just like wanting to be the first one to get it versus talking to the community and like getting ideas from everyone and brainstorming and like keeping information to himself because he doesn't want to like give it away. So it was a great parallel that she did. And so it didn't really like surprise me. The only thing that surprised me in the book was when like they were given FBI
consultant titles
officially and like let them walk the scene. And the way in which, how did Searcher find an eyelash from a picture, but you're saying the FBI or DPD agents didn't see it in real life? Like, that to me was a plot hole, and I just like suspended disbelief for a second. But that was like the thing. And then when they were finding like all the clues, like, oh, 2 people did this, not like one serial killer, and the FBI didn't get that, that to me was where I was like, okay, amateur sleuths in real life do not do this.
Yeah.
And I really think in real life, not one single cop wants to talk to an amateur sleuth. Like, they were being given way too many leeways within the book. Not even leeways, like, the actual case files and like going
Well,
to
okay, let's be clear. Some of them were hacked initially.
no, like going to the DPD and asking for the yearbooks, things like that. And being able to walk like the crime scene. Granted, in the book, it's like an ex-cop, so it's like different. It's not a random person. But also, like, you know, anytime in real life an amateur sleuth or armchair detective like has something for the cops have to do their due diligence and then move forward.
Right.
They did not do that in the book, which I don't think would ever happen in real life.
No, both
but it
parts,
was a good portrayal.
Yeah, I agree. But you best believe now that I've read this, I will be looking more into it. Not just because like I'm curious. I think I want to understand what other readers are saying is like just too much. Like there's too many parallels. I kind of want to understand that for myself because I don't get it.
I feel like you shouldn't. Just let it be.
Let it be?
Yeah. You don't need to know the details.
Okay.
Just know that there were a lot in there.
I just think there's every single TikTok that I saw, you guys, like, I would say at least 60-75% were just like, this went too far.
Yeah, I mean, for the details, yes, and yeah, it really did. So I don't think you need to look it up.
Okay,
just
we'll see.
Let it be.
I'll refer back.
Take my word for it.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
The details were there.
Okay.
Yeah. But now I'm just like, I want to look into the cases where the armchair detectives actually like brought okay, so just as an example, the Golden State Killer. So this was such a crazy thing. Like I was consciously in the true crime world when he had not been arrested, and it was the mystery of the ages. Okay. So when I had started listening to podcasts, this was one of, if not the...
When was this?
This was like a few years ago.
Okay.
Like, I want to say maybe 4 years ago or something when I would listen to the podcast. I have since then stopped. But at that point, they had like multiple victims, and they had, when it happened in like the 70s and 80s, something like that. And obviously they didn't have DNA back then, but they had things that were taken from the crime scene. And they had like the DNA whenever, you know, that technology became available. They got the DNA and it was in the file. But what happens is, like, right now, the government, and knock on wood, never, they do not have our DNA with our name. So, like...
Got it.
Because you haven't committed a crime...
You're not in their
system.
Right, okay.
So, they had his DNA, but they didn't have his name because besides that, like...
He has
in his other part of his life, he has never he has not done anything, like gotten arrested for anything, got caught. And so I literally my favorite murder, Crime Junkies, there were like so many different true crime podcasts, and every single one that you would listen to, if you scroll down their catalog, they always had an episode of the Golden State Killer. And it was the biggest mystery because he committed like so many crimes, and
oh my God,
no one ever caught him. And there were theories. Like, I remember I learned about him. I listened to multiple episodes.
Wait, is he caught now?
Yes, but
okay, I can't. Okay.
I'll tell you what happens.
Okay.
No, you're good. So, and after listening to all of that, like, they would also talk about the different theories that everyone had. Like, all of these, you know, amateur sleuths, like, I think he was this because of this and whatever. And so a lot of people thought that he was like a cop or within law enforcement. And I don't remember why they thought that. But I think just the way that he was like committing the crimes, it seemed like he was getting by like what's the word? Undetected.
Got it.
And so it was like, how would someone do that? And in real life, like I remember a random like weekday, I think I was at work or something, and I saw on yahoo.com the top story, Golden State Killer has been caught and arrested. And I was shaking in my boots because literally it was at the perfect time of knowing this like crazy set of crimes that like, and everyone thought it's never going to get solved because this guy could not even be alive anymore because it was done like so long ago. And what had happened was because of all of like the genealogy, ancestry tests, the articles
like the 23andMe's, things like that.
The articles I read were that they got his DNA like closely to a pool of like 5 men, and they dug into their trash and got like a banana or something, tested him, found the match, and then they caught him. However, in this book, like I didn't know these details. Apparently there was like a woman who did a lot of the back end work, like comparing the DNA to the ancestry DNAs, and was able to hand over that information to the police. So I don't know if that's what happened in real life, but I think that is an example of like them properly like doing the work on their end and then handing it over to the cops,
that's
letting them
literally, as long as it's like handed over to the professionals, do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Like you can't cross the line to, I remember like when the Idaho stuff happened, everyone started blaming the ex-boyfriend. Yeah. And like now, like the person's arrested, like lo and behold, the boyfriend didn't even do anything, but his life is affected because all of these people are always like, it's always the boyfriend, which like it usually is. It usually is,
but like his name's tied to this murder for life.
Yeah, but like lucky for him, like I doubt he's listening. I don't think anyone remembers his name, so I think he's good.
I mean, I definitely don't, but you know.
Okay, third question. Did you expect the plot twist of Citizen being the killer?
No, I did not. Okay. Of course, as soon as they got the grad student, I'm forgetting his name now, Odell. Once they were getting very close to him and they were trying to get to like befriend him, Goku and Citizen were, they were hanging out at some bar or wherever, and they saw Searcher walking, and they brought Searcher to meet him. And Searcher was like, what the fuck? Like, why would you put me of a killer, a serial killer who's literally looking for women like me to kill? And also there was an aspect of Citizen telling Searcher that he had a crush on her, and they kissed. So at that point, I was like, they wouldn't put her in that situation. It was just like the first point where I kind of got like a whiff of like, okay, something's up.
Yeah, like this isn't the best guy.
This is not, yeah, exactly. And so I was like, okay, like, we're going to keep a close eye on this. And then there was the yearbook question. And as soon as they found out that Mistress had gone missing after looking for that yearbook when she traveled to go get it, I was like getting very close to being like, okay, it has to be someone either in their camp or someone that they know very closely, because there's no, like, Mistress going missing in that scenario could not have been possible unless someone knew that she was actually going there to look for a yearbook and look for the killer.
Yeah. I am not going to lie, from the beginning of the book, I didn't know for sure. Yeah. I just kind of had a feeling that Citizen would end up being
something
like a not so great character. Like I didn't think he would be the killer, but I remember at the beginning of the book, he had like erupted and like said something like sexist, misogynistic or something
in the network or
in during one of their FaceTimes.
Okay.
And I just remember thinking like that is really crazy, and they skipped over it, looked over it so quickly, and I was like, why don't we circle back to that? Like, if I was a girl within this group, I would not want to be talking to this man. So that was just like a red flag. And then when he was so adamant about not giving the network the information for like a broader discussion and just kept saying like, I want to be first, like I want to be the one to catch the person, I just felt like this person is not right in the head. Like, you said you're here to get justice for these girls. It should not matter who gets the credit, like who does it first. You're here to help these families and the victims.
But the thing was, I don't think he ever said, I'm here to actually help the families and the victims.
But it's expected if you're putting in all the work.
Of course. But I'm saying, like, from the very beginning, the author made it very clear that he had an ego and that he really wasn't in it for the people.
No, but his backstory was also like his dad wasn't the best person. And so it was kind of implied like he had a bad childhood, so he's trying to like kind of have like a savior complex. Maybe.
Right.
And then the same scene that you're talking about when after he said like, I have a crush on you, searcher, and then he brings her like so eagerly in front of the person he thought was
alleged
killer. I just thought like, there is no way, like, let's say even if you don't have like a crush on this person, if you are like so close to this young girl, like why would you want to bring her in front of this guy who's apparently
possible killer? Like, to put eyes on the killer and another possible
like victim,
wild.
It was crazy. And then also another thing that just made me feel so icky was the recording of him and Odell and how he was making him kind of like confess to the killings, and he was like, yeah, it would feel so good to like murder. I'm not going to go into the details of what they said, but he said, wouldn't it feel so good to like shut them up? And it was something.
How would you even know like what to say? No,
it was so disgusting that I think any like normal male would not be able to form those words and get them out, even if they were trying to catch a murder. Like, I don't think they could go through and like say those things. And after that, I was like, there's no way this is a normal person. He's gonna be doing something crazy.
Wow.
But it was wild. But I really did like the twist though.
I loved the twist and the way that they went back to the murder that happened 11 years ago and spoke to the like Navy officer. The Navy officer that like also had an alcohol problem. So he really, the way that he gave the alibi for Citizen was because he was drunk. He was going to his car to just drink while the kids were in the high school Navy program, and Citizen was the one who was always eager to look after the kids in the absence of this teacher.
His alibi was a lie because he was like a suspect in that like older strangulation case, and they found out later like the alibi wasn't correct. It was like misinformation that was given. But I really loved that twist.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, do you want to give your rating? Because
no, we're doing Hollywood next.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I'd love to just.
Well, the thing is, I already know her rating because she's thrilled, and
I'm not gonna say it. Do you want to say your people first?
Yes, I had to actually send it to Sonia because none of us have our buttons today. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, we're doing something different with our recording, and
I hope
to God, Sonia, I was about to say something.
It looks okay.
And if it doesn't, you guys give us some grace, okay?
If it doesn't, just know like I cried the night of the recording. So
okay, all right. You briefly saw my people. So
your people are great people.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't look at my people.
I'm not, and mine are the first. So okay. So we decided that we are going to do the Hollywood adaptation for all 5 of the characters. Yes. So for Searcher, I had 2 actually, and I think I could see both of them playing this person. For Searcher, I had Zendaya or Rachel Zegler.
Okay, can I just say, like, I absolutely loathe Rachel Zegler.
I know, but
And like that would actually, and this book would make the
Greatest.
movie ever, and she would ruin it for me. So please, like, if anyone is going to turn this into a movie, keep Rachel Zegler away. Why did you choose her?
No, she just gave me the vibe of like a young girl who just wants to solve things, and she looks sometimes like disheveled, and like I was looking at the grieving side of Searcher. So
Okay.
yeah, but Zendaya would do great.
Zendaya, please.
Great
Love
in
her.
this. Okay, Citizen, are you ready?
Yes, I know who it is.
Okay. Leo Woodall. So,
Oh, okay. I had the other person that you chose for. Who's that? I can't even look it up. Leo
Theo
Woodall.
James. Who's my other person?
Wait, Leo Woodall
Yeah.
is an actor, or
Yeah, he's an actor.
why did you say Theo James?
Because that was my other thought.
Oh,
that was my other thought.
Okay.
Okay.
You didn't write it down, so I was
No, I
confused.
didn't. Okay, so Citizen, Leo Woodall. So he's from White Lotus season 2, which I've told you to watch, and I don't think you watched it.
No.
But he's now dating our girl Megan Fahey. Handsome,
Ooh.
has that little bit of like a swagger, like egotistical swagger in
Okay.
the characters that he plays. But also he has a smart side. Like he is that conniving person that could really play this character. So that's my Citizen.
Okay.
Goku, the nerdiest of nerds, just sweet guy, like, you know, just has a lot of money, just literally wants to be a nerd for his entire life and like does all the techie things for them. Adam Brody.
Cute.
Sweet man Adam Brody
Yeah.
is my Goku.
That was who I thought you were about to say for Citizen. I got it wrong. But
yeah. Okay, Mistress. This, I don't know if I'm like on the nose for this, but we'll see. Mistress Susan Sarandon. Dark
Love.
hair. Yeah. Like, is she not a Susan? You
Love.
could see her like coming to give you a hug.
Oh my god.
You know the
Such
part
like
in the
a
book?
nice, like motherly,
Yes.
calming.
And in the book, there was a scene when they first met each other, Mistress and Searcher. She gave her the tightest hug where they literally had to be like, get off of Searcher, like you're being too
Yeah.
much now. And that's Susan Sarandon.
I love that.
You know? Okay. All right. Lightly, Denzel.
Love.
Is that not spot on?
I-
Ex-top. Feels like a father figure, but not too old and like smart.
I don't want to give
That's
the list
Denzel.
anymore because you killed it.
No, I'm sorry. Like this casting, first of all, you should make a book or you should make a movie from this book once the trial is over, of course, to be in good taste. But then you need to come back to my Hollywood adaptations because I think I freaking killed it.
It's seriously so good. Like, I don't want to say much.
Should I go into casting? Like, should I pick up a fifth
because
job? Like,
this was like the first one.
okay,
That
that's
was
very
great.
true. But you know what? It only goes up from here.
Okay, don't judge mine.
Okay.
For Searcher, I think mine's better than yours.
Okay.
Searcher. I did Emma Watson because I really liked Searcher, and I need an actress who I love.
Yeah, that you
And
enjoy watching.
I googled like young brunette actress.
Yes. No, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
And then Citizen. Okay, I went with Tom Blythe, and he was in the prequel to Hunger Games. And
Who's that?
I can.
No, I'll look it up. I'll look it
Okay.
up after.
So he was in the prequel to Hunger Games, and he is President Snow. And if you know what that means, it's like a dark energy man,
Okay. Oh.
like not a good man.
Fitting.
And in the movie, he had to buzz his hair, and it was like a dark blonde. So
That's Leo Woodall.
yeah,
Okay.
and he was like so nice in the movie, and then he turns into like that dark character, and so he can do both.
Got it.
Yeah. Goku, I went because in the book, like they say that he's overweight, but like funny and like
Oh, I didn't know about the overweight part, but yeah.
yeah, but like funny and just like a brotherly figure.
Mm-hmm.
So I went. Have you seen War Dogs?
No.
It's like that. Okay, Jonah Hill, because he like
Obviously, I know Jonah Hill, but yeah.
obviously he can be so funny, but also just
He
like
can be nerdy too.
nerdy and I think exactly like the way Goku is
in the book,
portrayed.
yeah.
Yeah. And then Mistress, okay, this one, like, yours is better. Just ignore mine. Helen Mirren. Do you know her?
She gives me scary vibes, yeah.
Oh, she doesn't give me scary vibes, but I like Susan Sarandon so much better.
Okay.
And then Lightly, we had the same guy.
I knew it.
Washington.
Like, I'm sorry. When this book is made into a movie, if it's not Denzel, I'm sorry. Like,
I'm out.
what are we watching for?
Also, Keke Palmer just did an interview, and she was in a movie with Denzel Washington. And the reason, honestly, why I chose him was not even because of his, like, obviously amazing, like, actor skills, but in real life, he seems like a Lightly because she said, like, she was, I want to say, like, 13, like, really young on a movie set with him. And he, like, called her into his dressing room. And obviously Hollywood, like, so many things are coming out. It's like such an evil place, like, especially for kids. And he called her into his dressing room and just told her, like, watch out, and just gave her, like, the fatherly figure, like, talking to, like, didn't obviously say in detail, like, what goes down, but was just there for her, like, gave her really good advice, and made sure that she wasn't taken advantage of, you know, within that, like, movie shoot. I love that.
See, that's what we need as our Lightly.
That's literally Lightly.
Sonia, honestly, snaps for both of us. I think we did great.
Snaps.
Killed it. Do you want to give me your rating? Because I you know, we already know it, but go for it.
Mine's a 5. I
Obvi.
loved this book. I gave it a 5 on Goodreads. It's a 5 here in my personal rating. I will be recommending this book to, like, every single person who wants a thriller.
Yep.
And seriously, like, the author did a really good job. Like, I know that she's getting flack, but I messaged her too. I just told her it was, like, my favorite thriller. I don't have my phone, so, like, I don't know if she's responded, but yeah, just 5. It was so good.
5 out of 5 for me. Like, that has not happened on the podcast yet, has it? Oh,
yeah,
wait.
it
God of the Woods. Okay.
No, not even God of the Woods, because I don't think I gave that a full 5. It was the Christmas book, The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. Okay. Which honestly rings true for me still. Like, it makes sense. It was such a perfect
Christmas perfect book for the Christmas time.
And this is a perfect story.
No, it's perfect. Like, what a stellar April pick. Like, 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
And Sonia's already petitioned for our May book, which
Are you going to say yes?
No, I'm going to see. I'm going to look into it, okay? I'm going to look into it, and then we'll go from there. But, of course, it's an Emily Henry pick that Sonia's vouching for.
Her newest book, Great Big Beautiful Life, and I'm so excited to read it.
No, we definitely need something light after this, which is what we said we were going to do.
Oh, let's be clear. Like, for the next 2 months, I don't want a thriller in my face, okay? Like, after the, what are you going to read tonight?
No, I'm starting The Paradise Problem.
Okay.
I know you gave it a 3.8, so if you saw Sonia's story on our Instagram, she gave it a 3.8. But that is the exact type of book that I'm looking for, where I do not want to think.
I said I recommend it.
Yeah. I don't want to think. I don't want to use one iota of a brain cell. Okay?
Love.
Okay.
Wait, what's the date? Dang, it's the 23rd. Okay, April 28th.
Yeah.
Anna Wong is releasing her new book, and I'm so excited for it. Like, honestly, I've been looking
which
forward
one
to it
is
since December.
Okay, but which one is it? What's the trope?
I can't remember the title, but the trope is literally one of my favorites.
Okay.
It's like an angsty trope. So listen.
I can't do angst.
No, it's like a good type of angst.
Okay. You haven't read it yet. How do you know?
Because I know the description.
Okay.
Also, especially this series, like, all of the characters are, like, uber wealthy.
Oh, I am
uber wealthy. And it's just, like, that world. It's so amazing. And they have, like, a private, like, club that literally sounds like Hogwarts, but, like, New York private club. Like,
okay, well, sign us up. Thanks.
Okay, so the book, it's like this girl, and she's engaged to someone, but the guy's best friend is, like, obsessed with her.
Oh my God.
And it's seriously
that is Sonia's trope of all
up my alley.
No. Okay.
And I have been looking forward to this book since, I want to say, when she first, like, released the premise in, like, December, January. And I can't believe I still have 5 more days. And another good thing, her books are always on Kindle Unlimited.
Okay, so I'll start it.
Oh my god, I'm so happy.
Okay.
Should we choose that?
No. We won't be able to discuss anything. It's going to be like, we loved it. That was so fun. Okay, cute.
Yeah.
No, but I'm happy that we chose this as our thriller because for the next 2 months, you will not be catching us reading any thrillers, anything serious. So look out for those fun romance reads. But
also follow us on Instagram because we are like storying now our book review. So I just did it for The Paradise Problem. And then we made like a story highlights and we've done like a few before. So they will all be on there just in case you like miss a story. But I love doing quick ones that aren't full posts because it's just like easy, like you throw it up. I don't have to take like a cute grid picture.
No.
But oh my god, now I'm honestly so excited for tonight. Like, what book am I gonna read?
No, I'm starting The Paradise Problem. Like, that is it. And also for our bookish episode in May, you guys are not ready because we were not ready with all of these books turning into movies and TV shows. There is so much to talk about. Yeah. And it's gonna be amazing. So like look out for that
bookish episode of like the Hollywood adaptation.
Exactly.
That we do.
And if there's anything specific, any of the books that are being turned into movies specifically that you want us to discuss, please send it our way either on Instagram or TikTok. We are going to talk about it on our May bookish episode, and that's when we'll announce our May book of the month as well.
Yeah, or maybe we'll announce it sooner because honestly, for this time, we have so many different options. And I just want to say, I'm not tonight going to start Great Big Beautiful Life. Just in case we pick it for May.
Don't.
But I have decided I'll be starting Summer in the City.
That was so quick. Okay.
Because I have been seeing this book everywhere, and I told you.
Wait, what is it?
So it's based off of like Sex in the City.
Okay.
But it's like set in New York. Okay. And it's like Summer in the City, and it's a romance.
I have not seen this yet. Oh my god.
This one right here.
Is this Kindle Unlimited?
So that's the issue. Like, I don't know if it is, and if it's not, then I don't know if I'll be starting it tonight because, like, I don't really want to buy a romance book. You can't be like
paying for Kindle Unlimited and our book clubs of the month, and then it's just too much.
It's honestly too much. But then, like, Shaquille will be like, the crap you spend money on, like, you don't want to buy a book. Like, don't talk to me.
Yeah,
like,
we're a little bit hypocritical. But you guys, thank you so much for listening to our April book club episode.
Hope you enjoyed, and especially if you're a true crime junkie like I used to be, I feel like you loved this book. And Sarah, go us for picking a 5 out of 5 book for the both of us. Like, seriously, just stellar pick. Like, go us.
Literally.
That's why you should be listening to our like book club episodes, but also like reading along with us because we're honestly doing so great. We have a great track record.
No, we have a great track record.
Not to jinx ourselves for May.
It's okay. We won't. But you guys, thank you so much for listening. If you have any feedback for us, let us know on Instagram or TikTok. But until next time,
see ya. Bye.